Hello Bearable traders, my name is Artie and I'm back with another video. It was a really important day today. Today is April 6th and the FOMC meeting came out. So the document you see on my screen is actually the Fed's minute from March 15 and 16. So this was the meeting they had which led into the first rate hike of 25 basis points. So reading this document is really going to be important to understand what the next few months is going to bring and how can we adjust our positions as traders and as position traders in the market. So this document came out about 2 hours ago. I spent last 2 hours really going through it, understanding it, what it says, what are some of the concerns and how is it going to impact and what does it mean for the May rate hike, which we have in about 4 weeks that is coming up. So this session is going to be packed with lots of good information. We're going to discuss what was discussed in the meeting. Of course, what does all of this mean for the market, and we're going to try to read between the lines and come up with trading ideas and so much more. So definitely stick with us. It's going to be a shorter video but packed with good information. So this is right from the minute. So they're talked about price of commodities, especially oil, being under a lot of pressure due to the war between Russia and Ukraine, unfortunately. So if you look at the future curve for oils, you can see that it's actually in a position of backwardation. So oil and majority of commodities usually are in contango. Why? Because the person who's holding it has to get compensated for holding that in their storage, like holding the oil in their storage before the delivery. We call this convenience yield. But when constraints get really hard and demand increases or there's shocks to supply, what you'll see is a backwardation like this. So again, we've talked about this many times. It's one of the most important things when it comes to commodity and future trading is you want a curve that looks like this, because the person is storing the oil, so they're storing the oil, they want to get compensated, so it's going to cost a little bit more, but now we're in a backwardation mode. So one of the things that it was discussed in the Fed's meeting is their understanding there's a lot of pressure, especially in the supply chain, from the energy sector due to war. So, the title of this video is really the FOMC meeting and welcome to hell. Really, it's a tough job for Fed. So this is again from the passage. It says, along the rise in commodity prices, measure of near-term inflation, compensation increased sharply. So they're understanding that, demand is not really slowing down a lot because economies are still strong and there's still lots of supply shock. So inflation is a huge deal. More rate hike. Again, almost everybody in that meeting kind of went for the 25 basis point and accepted the 25 basis point, which is really important. And another key factor that I want to talk about is now they're seeing 170 basis point until the end of the year, and that's about 70 basis point higher than what they thought. What this means is over the next few meetings, we're probably going to see 0.5 percentage point increase in the Fed's funds. So rates are going to increase, and they're going to increase really, really fast. This is what you have to get from this minutes. And the dovish hawk of supporting the market, that's the story for 2021. 2022 is a different market and different animal, and you have to, in my opinion, you have to act accordingly. Let's see what else we got here. Again, another thing is about QT, reducing the size of balance sheets. So about 60 billion in treasuries and 35 billion in mortgage-backed securities. So 35 billion in mortgage-backed securities. As they're dumping these mortgage-backed securities, is going to put upward pressure in mortgage rates again. So, another slowdown in housing, probably that's going to be bad news for housing. So something to look for. Really important information out of the minutes. Again, I spent a lot of time really digging through these minutes and read between the lines so you don't have to. Key event to watch for this week. Be very careful. I think tomorrow, San Luis Fed, James Bullard will speak. And if you've been following the market, Bullard is one of the more hawkish chair people on the Fed. So definitely pay attention to what he has to say. He's probably going to be really more aggressive and maybe even suggest a 75 basis or 1% increase in one of the meetings. So definitely interesting. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is now the probability of a rate hike. So this is for the May meeting. So again, very important. Before the Fed's minute came out, this was at about 70%. Now it's at about 80%. So we know with almost certainty that on May 4th, the Fed is going to increase the rate by 50 basis points to a 75 basis point to about a 1% overnight. So this is a big news. We have a really high probability, so something to definitely look for. We look at these probabilities and we use this to make decisions. It shouldn't really be surprising to us that the strongest sectors today, and let me go to our trading terminal and look at the overview of the sectors. The strongest sector today were the defensive plays. So it was the utilities, up 2%. It was the healthcare, up about 1.5%. Real estate, consumer staples. So more and more defensive plays were really kind of came out. A lot of money is flowing into them. This has been a theme of my discussion over the past 4 or 5 weeks. I said expect that over the next few quarters, utility, healthcare, staple will outperform, especially in compared to consumer discretionary, and the theme continues. So that was the meeting. What do you think about Fed? How's the situation looking like? Can the Fed really escape this inflation problem? Can they put it under control? If you want to kind of see my thought process real time, definitely feel free to follow me on Twitter. And of course, follow our other mods as well. Andrew, he posts a lot of great trade ideas, Norm, Thor, on and on and on. So definitely give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, and till next one. Thank you.